Did you know that there was a limited run of Numberblocks DVDs that got abruptly pulled from production? If you go on their website and explore, there are still a number of dead links that lead essentially to nowhere in particular. There's a reason for this, but the executives who run the program at CBeebies have tried desperately to scrub all records of its existence. Numberblocks, The Chain Rule, Lost Episode. I don't usually write about weird TV stuff. I'm not a collector of lost tapes. I'm not a creepypasta guy. I work IT at a community college. I drink lukewarm gas station coffee, and I live alone with my dog, who may or may not hate me. But something happened last week that still makes my spine feel fractured. It started when I opened an unmarked cardboard box addressed to the math department. Inside, a USB stick, a sticky note that simply read, "They made it too far. Do not play." I played it anyway. The opening. It looked like an episode of Numberblocks, the kid-friendly math show where colorful cubes cheerfully teach arithmetic. The intro song played, albeit slower, warped, like a music box left out in the rain. The Numberblocks just looked steaming mad, and some were holding what looked like CG steamed clams and had no desire to practice math. There was a lot of anti-math talk, an anti-math tirade, if you will. Then the title screen popped up, scrawled in red digital font. Numberblocks, The Chain Rule, episode hexadecimal 0066. We're all derivatives now. What kind of preschool show does differential calculus? The answer: none that should. Act 1, Infinity minus 1. The Numberblocks, 1 through 10, stood in a circle, whispering. Their usual bubbly animation style had changed. They now had visible creases, like they'd been folded out of paper and hastily reanimated. "I can't do that," one whispered. Number 2 started crying. She started crying as tiny parts of her scrambled like eggs and drifted into the ether. Number 5 turned to the camera and said, "Today we're learning the limit definition of a derivative." No excitement, no smiles. Just the low hum of ambient static. Cut to number 3, repeatedly drawing tangent lines on a graph made of teeth. I'm not exaggerating. Molars, canines, the entire graph was a jaw. Highly visible dental surgery was depicted, with the Numberblocks screaming at a box of dental floss, some throwing themselves into a pit full of expired CG sandwich meat. Number 8 collapsed. Too many variables, not enough functions. Act 2. They discover infinity. At some point, number 9 tried to divide herself. She screamed, "What happens if I take the derivative of myself with respect to myself?" She began to split, literally, pixel by pixel, her edges blurred. A second number 9 spawned beside her, twitching, muttering partial differential equations in what I swear was in whatever language Comic Sans would be. A huge CG piece of floss came down and split her down the middle. Entirely split. You could see the inside of her head with CG bones and CG brains that looked like common grocery store Jell-O. I was eating Jell-O at the time and looked around my home for a camera. Then number 1 spoke. "What if 0 is just infinity inverted?" All the blocks went silent. The screen darkened. Their eyes dilated. Then one by one, the Numberblocks began to vanish. Act 3, The Infinite Series. The camera panned to what looked like a chalkboard filled with infinite series. A voice, not from any block I recognized, narrated in monotone. "As n approaches infinity, we approach understanding." Suddenly, a fast montage. Number 2, spinning in a Mobius strip. Number 6, being simplified into a triangle. Number 4 curled up whispering, "The derivative of a constant is nothing." It all climaxed with number 10, the proudest of the group, standing alone. "I am no longer a Numberblock. I am a concept." He began to unravel into thousands of lines, like spaghetti made of pure math, their heads connected to each other, a pulsing, screaming pile of mathematic pasta, horrified screaming as the Numberblocks hurtled into the sun, and the sun was a mathematic meatball that curled inward, maintaining its curvature, inverting, screaming, developing a strange face, and eating the Numberblocks with delicious Parmesan gusto. The ending, Derivative of reality. The final scene showed static for 20 seconds, then, one last frame, an untextured room, on the floor, the USB stick, and on the wall, in chalky white, partial differential y/partial differential x equals 0. The moment you understand, you are gone. The file auto-deleted from my computer. Postscript, what I've learned. I've had math dreams ever since. Nightmares, really. I see derivatives now in real life. The slope of my ceiling, the curve of my dog's tail. Yesterday I whispered f of x in my sleep and my coffee mug shattered. Tiny blocks were found in my room. A quirk of chance or a warning? Some man whispered the words Numberblocks at the grocery store, but it was only at a frequency I could hear. I glanced under his trench coat, and, I swore, I saw a sinister CG smiling block face underneath. If you ever receive a file labeled Numberblocks, the chain rule, do not open it. Calculus isn't meant for cartoon cubes, because once you differentiate yourself, you will really be different yourself.